So what's up, you guys? It's your girl Young Africana back at it again with another video. Today I'll be showing you from start to finish how I constructed this wig, and this wig is probably the most natural looking wig I've ever made. So if you guys want to see how I achieve this look, then keep on watching. This hair is provided by Wigs Hair. I have the kinky straight texture in 226s, a 24, and a 20-inch 4x4 lace closure. These are the materials you would need in order to bleach the knots of your closure. You want to make sure that you do that just to ensure that you have a natural looking wig. So the bleaching powder I'm using is Blonde Me. I don't know, the company name is a really long name, but it's the same company that the Got to Be Free spray is from. And I'm using 30 volume developer, and of course I have a mixing bowl, a whisk, and a plastic knife, and I'll show you guys why I use plastic knife. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna mix the powder and the developer and make sure that you have a thick consistency. You want to make sure that the consistency is very thick, and when you hold the whisk, it doesn't drip. Now if it does drip, then that just means that you need more powder to thicken the consistency. So right now I'm laying out aluminum foil, and right now I'm using the Got to Be Free spray over the hairline to tame those flyaways. I'm just going to use my rat tail comb to just brush it back. Now I'll be using the butter knife to place the bleach onto the closure. Now you want to make sure that you have a gentle hand with it, a light hand at that, just so that you're not pushing any bleach. And the butter knife is used so that you don't push the bleach too far into the knots where it starts bleeding onto the hair. So this is almost just like, you know, like foolproof in a sense, where it will just help you not push any bleach into the hair. Now this step is totally optional. What I'm doing right now is putting bleach onto the aluminum foil just in case if the bleach dries out on me, even though it probably won't, but it's never too safe to be too safe. And what I'm doing right now is just folding over the aluminum foil and closing up any air gaps that I will have, just so we can really incubate this bleach, because this is not like a natural scalp where it will produce its own heat. So I want to make sure that no oxygen touches it where it stops drying. So now what I'm doing is onto the sewing portion. I am using my tracks. I'm starting with the 26, of course, because that's the longest length, and I'm just gonna go ahead and double weft my tracks. Now I have a whole video on this, on how I do this in detail. I'm not gonna explain in detail how I'm doing this. I'm just showing you guys how I'm just constructing the wig. Now I ended up double wefting all 3 of the bundles. Usually I'll probably just do 2 and leave 1 single just in case I run out of hair. But now I'm placing my wig cap. The wig cap I am using is an extra large because your girl head is kind of big, it's a little colossal, and the dome cap I'm using, well, the dome head that I'm using is a 23-inch circumference. Now what I'm doing right now is I already washed out the bleach from the closure, and I'm just placing my closure onto the wig cap, and I'm just stretching them out to prepare for myself to sew on the closure. And I like to pin the front first and then pin the back, just so I get a nice stretch and I know where it's stretching and if I have any air bubbles. Now I'm just tying away the hair on the closure just so I have, you know, a neat area of me sewing. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and start sewing my closure, and I'm just sewing my closure very tight together and very close together so that there is no air bubbles. So again, you want to make sure that your stitching is very close together. And what I like to do is go side by side. So I'll start on one side and then I'll go on the other side, and then I'll do the back, just so I know that the closure is stretching correctly and there's no air bubbles. Now I'll be using this metallic Sharpie just to pretty much print out my blueprint of where I want my tracks to go. And I like to space them out probably like 1.5 inches apart from each other so that the wig cap can stretch. Now on to the sewing. So right now I'm just sewing on the first track. I'm going to go ahead and sew, backtrack, and then sew again just to secure those ends. And you want to make sure that you do that for every time that you're starting and you're ending your tracks, just so that it doesn't come loose. And what I'm doing is I'm just simply stretching out the, well, not stretching out, but I am smoothing out the area so it can be flat. I'm going to place and then I'm going to go ahead and sew. And again, if you guys want an in-depth tutorial on how I did this, I have a video up right now on my channel. You guys can check that out. And it's pretty much repetitive, you guys. I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just getting closer to the top. Alright you guys, and now we are finished. This is how it should look, nice and flat and very neat. Now what I'm doing is I'm cutting the cloth underneath where the closure is at. You want to make sure that you cut right next to where the threading of the closure is at. You don't want to cut on, otherwise your closure will unravel. So just be very careful while you're cutting around the perimeter of where you sewed your lace closure. And this is how it should look, you guys. We are good to go. And this was the remaining that I had left after finished sewing. Now on to the styling. I wanted to flat iron this hair just because, the hair is really big. And yeah, I wasn't really looking for that look. I was looking more so of like a relaxed look, because this is how my hair would look like if I flat ironed it and it was relaxed. Now I'm just comparing one side that I plucked versus the other side that I did not. The closure does come pre-plucked, but I wanted to pluck it just a little bit more. So what I'm doing right now is just cutting rows in between, and I'm going to go ahead and pluck behind the hairline. Want to make sure you're plucking behind, not on the hairline. And I just parted about 3 to 4 rows plucking back, just so I have a nice gradient look. And you're just going to pluck and comb out the hair just to see how much you plucked out. And you want to make sure that you don't pluck in the same exact spot, because that causes bald spots. Then I just pushed the hair back and then just plucked a little bit more where it needed to be. Now I'll be going in with my Kinky wax stick. I'm just going to place that all over the closure, pretty much like around the perimeter and on top as well, just to tame those flyaways. And right now what I'm doing is I'm going part by part, really trying to flat iron and flatten out this hair. I'm going to go in with the Kinky wax stick again just to tame those flyaways, and then I'm going to go ahead and flat iron it. And I did this throughout the whole entire lace closure. And I also did this around around the perimeter, just so I could cover the tracks as well. And this is one side that is flat iron versus the other. And as you guys can see, this hair flat irons pretty well. I still like that you can still see the texture of it. And now that we're done flat ironing, I'm going to go ahead and use my hot comb just to press out the hair even more. Now I'm going in with the spritz holding spray. I'm just going to spray that onto the hairline because I really want that kind of like slick frontal looking, look without the baby hairs. Because I just feel like, especially with kinky hair, I don't like baby hairs with kinky hair. Like I feel like you don't need baby hairs with kinky hair. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and spray the spritz on and then use my hot comb just to press it down so my hairline stays intact and nice and slick, you guys. Now I'll be using my scissors to cut up the middle, and then I'll be using my eyebrow razor just to cut the lace off. Now what I'm doing is I'm kind of cutting in a zigzag motion, and this will ensure that your closure is like pretty much undetectable on your head. You know, even though it's lace, and I need you guys to understand, you can still see lace. It doesn't matter if you come up to somebody or you can see it from far away. You know, different companies, different lace, different results. I need y'all to get that drilled in your heads, because I feel like a lot of you guys be swearing y'all know something, in reality you don't. But no shade, no tea, it's not all of you guys. That's why I definitely said some. But yeah, I just wanted to let that be known, because there be a lot of trolls on YouTube. And, you know, I'm all here for the constructive criticism, but again, I'm working with what I got. You feel me? So right now I went ahead and placed the wig onto my head. As y'all can see, I already used I tinted it with my foundation color, clearly, and I felt like it was a little bit light still, so I went in with my MAC Studio Fix powder and NW58. And these are the finished results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you have not, and I will catch you guys in the next segment. Deuces.